Okay, now in order to get rid of spotlight from our background, we can press Z on the keyboard. That gets rid of the controller. We can press Shift Z to get rid of everything. So what I want is to have my images in the background but available for me to sculpt, or off to the side so I can sculpt. So I'm going to press Shift Z to show everything, Z to see my controller, tile selected, and then Z to get rid of the controller. But now if I come in here and I start to sculpt, I'm actually clicking and dragging around. If I do that, nothing happens. You have to come into Brush. You have to come down to, let's say, where is it? Samples. And then turn Spotlight Projection off. Okay, that's key. Brush, Samples, Spotlight, Projection. Now I can sculpt away. So what I want to do is try to imitate these lines that I'm getting in my reference. Notice that the lines are pulling to the back or the front from these anchor points on the side. So I can just come in, back, front, start to pull these lines, and also notice that they get sweeping lines down here if the volume is larger. So I'm going to try to have my lines in some way. Let's say take this and then just sweep around. Maybe even sweep around here. These are the kinds of things I'm going to try to figure out right now. And I'm going to use the clay buildup brush to really indicate them in this rough, loose way. That done and said, though, keep in mind that I have to come in and turn off backface masking, or turn it on, I should say. So this is per brush. I'm going to turn it on for this clay buildup brush. You can see I use that so often I actually put it in my interface. That's not going to be on yours by default. And let's use some lines. Just start to sketch. Okay, let me illustrate real quick what backface masking is doing actually. We've got symmetry on now. So if I'm sculpting on the surface, it's not going to be going in and affecting the other side because I have backface masking on. If I come in and turn backface masking off, then it's pulled all the way through, because basically a brush inside of ZBrush is just a sphere of influence, and it'll go all the way through the model if it needs to. But what we've done is said only affect those vertices or those polygon faces that are basically pointing the direction of the first one you click, so, or the general orientation. Don't flip it around and affect the backs. So let's turn that back on. Undo and get started. So it's going to be different for each leg, so I am going to treat these differently. And I'm going to go into brush depth and let's increase that. Yeah. Think about this as though you're laying down just sheets of clay. Not happy with that. Let's pull this. And yeah, there we go. Inside is okay. Yeah, backface masking is doing its job. And let's pull around to the front. And do I want that to break in on the inside? Probably. About like that, yeah. I'm okay with that. And then we can continue it. Okay, and I'm just doing these main lines right now. Need to do some in here. Lower this. And just get a little tiny hit on one there. Coming from the rectus femoris. Okay, we need to fill in this area. Jeans aren't going to be hugging the crotch that tightly. There we go. Okay, get a little wrinkling. Okay, and then extend those wrinkles out. Okay. And let's see, I'm pulling down from the rectus femoris. I don't want to pull down in that way. I want to pull down here and then extend it. Yeah. So again, all about creating just main lines. I'm going to integrate everything, but I'm just trying to create some lines. I already know I'm going to put some kind of diamond compression pattern in there. So let me just get that, and then the energy flowing down. Okay, let's dig in. Oh, and let's get the anchors coming on this side. Smaller. Okay, down. Pulling in. This one I'm going to go a little lower. Okay, and another quick look. So yeah, we are pulling from here. Let's just get some cursory, some small ones in there, like that. Okay, there we go. And there. Okay, so there we go. Quick look at creating basically little clay tubes that are going to go in and define the high points and the directionality of stuff. Now what I need to do is go in and define some of these crumple zones, if there's any more, and then also I need to take care of energy. So in a place like this, where it opens up, if there's any kind of compression happening there, you got to think about energy at the side. Now this is a hole, so the energy is literally dissipated, and this part actually should be hanging down, and that should create some sort of stressors at the side. But here I've got a compression that I wanted to put in, and so you got to take that compression and that energy and you got to dissipate it. So here's one triangle, and then the energy flows off on both sides. Okay, flowing off on both sides and coming around. Let's look at the back as well. Oops. And let's talk about what's happening here. So it's not going to be hugging his pants or his butt, so we need to have all of that intact. Give him a little more volume. Okay. Turn solo mode off, just make sure I'm not going into the muscle. And I'm going to go to Damien Standard Brush, or maybe the /3 brush. Lower the Z intensity of /3. Just to get a little bit more. Okay, I gotta make that a little messy, complicated. And then some wrinkles. Okay. There we go. That's going to be good enough. A couple of options for now, post-processing wise. What can we do to make these look cooler? We're still in Dynamesh, so you can Dynamesh them to be able to get more topology there, to be able to explain their forms. So that's one thing. I'm going to remesh it. And we can come into Polish. Start to smooth some of these things out. I'm going to try some of that stuff we did before. Mask by cavity, blur it, polish it. Did I blur it? Yeah, I'm going to sharpen it once. And then view mask off. Just to get some nice form to it. But we got to do a little bit more work. So clear the mask. I'm going to smooth out in some areas to blend. Smooth directional is not a bad idea. Okay, and I don't want to go in and do a whole bunch, so now Damien Standard Brush, and let's just get this kind of finalized. And I'm going to get some edges, and it's about time to divide this model. Okay, so I'm going to drop out of Dynamesh, we don't need that anymore. Come in with trim dynamic. In some cases, though, be careful. You may want H polish more than you want trim dynamic. But even H polish can be quite a beast. The idea is now I just want to get a little hardness to some places. Take it away from the organic softness. Remember, with trim dynamic you can compress Alt, and so that really helps you build up in some places. Okay, I want to isolate the legs, work on them one at a time. So symmetry is off. I'm just going to press Control Shift and there we go, and rotate around, make sure I didn't select any of the other leg. Okay. Long, clean lines. Okay, and then that's too strong. And smooth it out. Okay, too much of a trough, and again, too strong. So, Alt, and I'm just going to cut that out. Okay, and the other leg. And I'm just flattening, adding, and smoothing. Okay, we lost a little bit down there. Not a problem. Actually, it's going to work in our favor to have those holes there. Okay, I'm working real fast, just trying to work these angles with trim dynamic. Okay. Last thing, I'm going to get a little bit more volume on that. There we go. I think that looks better, so I'm breaking up the highlights so that this fabric is moving around, removing any kind of straight line. As much as I can. Okay, I'm going to invert that. And I'm going to come in and make sure that AccuCurve is on, and I just want to lift that compression, give a nice harder edge to it. Something I could have sculpted, but it just was taking too long to get the right effect. So no problem, I don't mind cheating with the move brush. And making that happen. Okay, let's see, anywhere else that needs that kind of tuck. Looks too mechanical. Snake hook. And get the edge here as well. Get the edges all the way around. Just with snake hook here, it's just gonna dirty up those edges. Accidentally went all the way around. Okay, back into snake hook. Okay. And Damien's standard brush, we're at about 24 minutes of this sculpting. Get pockets. Seams along the side. I'm not going to take the seams all the way down right now. I just wanted to get it indicated. Okay, penny pocket in there. I don't know. These are more cargo pants, so to speak. I'm not sure about how far down that goes. Okay, and so in that sense, we've carved it in, and now I come in with trim dynamic on one side, or clay buildup, and I'm pressing Alt to just push in, and then I'll build up the rim. Okay, indicated, quickly sketched, looks quickly sketched. /3brush, okay, or Damien standard brush. Alright, I'm looking at it from a distance. Let's turn solo mode off. I want to get these pants to basically look sagging, so AccuCurve is off, and I'm just starting to drop his pants a little bit. Who wants a zombie with a high waistline, right? Transparency, where's his butt? Right there. Okay. So I kind of feel like I need to sag that a little bit more. Do I want to? Yeah, I gotta invert the directionality so the shirt and the jeans are in different directions, but now I need to move that rectus femoris down a little bit, not a problem. And then let's see. I'm just going to pull in all the way. How much room do I have there? Yeah, quite a bit. Alright, last thing. Let's come in with, let's say, I need snake hook, but I'm going to turn my alpha off, and what I want to do is give the pants a bit of an energy, so something happening. Let's pull that. Right now they just taper, but I want some kind of energy in there. Do I want this, or do I want a different brush? Let's try Move Elastic. And Move Elastic works better at lower subdivision levels, but it has a cutoff. And it looks like we've reached the cutoff, so we'll still get some effect, but it's not going to be as nice. Okay, just a little bit of energy. Okay, I'm happy with that. So there we go. Sculpted this out. Got some cool shapes, cool energy, and there's more to do, obviously, but this is a roughed-in sculpt. And we went through all of the processes that you would need to be thinking about. So just a quick recap. We found our lines of action. We found our compression zones, the energy flowing out. We also put holes in the model. And we started to suggest things like the seams for the pockets, the zipper, separation of the belt line, things like that. We could come in with clay buildup and start to actually put in hoops. Something that could happen along the sides. And then in the back. Just visual indicators for these things, which will just really help us in the long run putting pieces together. So it really reads from here.